It's a Monday morning show. It's me, Ken Napzok, looking ahead to my week and seeing if there's anything in it for you to connect with. I'm going to start this week by going back. I actually recorded an episode last week. Pretty good episode. About 25 minutes of just pure wisdom. Some of my best. And I had some settings wrong. And instead of re-recording the episode, I talked about this on the Blathering Live, I think on Monday night, but I just said, F it. Screw this. And I didn't re-record it. Why? Because the week prior, I'd done the same thing and I re-recorded it. And I was so mad at myself. That I think that's actually what I'm looking at this coming week. It wasn't a technical issue. It was a setting issue. There's something going on with, I use StreamYard to record these things. And there was, it's just my mic wasn't being picked up. It's actually trying to pick up the camera mic. Boring drunk uncle information. So I don't know why it does that, because it used to be automatic to what I need it to be, the default. What's upsetting to me is that it had happened 2 weeks in a row. But the fact that it had even happened the first time, it's just an example of me. I don't even want to call it laziness. Could it be attention having a deficit? Could it be just a scatterbrain, carelessness, not loving myself enough? I don't know, but it's pretty normal if you're going to record a show, if you're going to go live, if you're going to record a podcast, that you might, run through your settings. Like if you're about to take off in an aeroplane, click, click, click. That's good. We're ready to go. And I should do that. I don't. And so I was so mad at myself last week for just kind of doing it again. That this carelessness cost me time. Again, I actually really thought it was a good episode, and I was like, I can go back and redo that, but these are so off the cuff. And I was like, it's just pointless. And I'm so angry at myself, not angry at the computer. And as I go into the second week of December, I think that's what's kind of dominating too, that I kind of keep doing this to myself. And as I look at my position in life, which is a position shared by a lot of other folks, looking for work, struggling for cash, trying to get by, all those things that are pretty normal to my story in those past couple of years are normal to other stories as well. But that the things around it, including the positive way to look at things, the acting from a point of abundance and not scarcity, not acting from fear, all these things that I kind of keep talking about. I keep talking with my pal Jason. I keep trying to share all this stuff with you all there. It just bothers me that we all have those kind of little mini revelations, and then we shrink back to our default setting. Unlike StreamYard going to the default setting I needed. And in the second week of December, I'm trying to, I don't know if it has to be a slowdown. I don't know if it can't be an actual literal checklist. I'll overlook it. But if I need to also take the time to make sure the settings on a podcast are right, I need to take the time to make my own settings are right. Make sure my own settings are right in my life. And that I'm not just going with the assumption that it's all working. Because that's what buried my recording last week. I just sat down and assumed everything was fine. Where last week it wasn't. You'd think, that's the connection. Last week it wasn't. I should probably double check. Fool me once, fool me twice. If it happens a third time, I might as well just quit podcasting. But that's the anger I had at myself. You just keep doing this stuff. You know better. And as I continue my scramble forward in life, that's fine. That's going to be there. I am in a position where I do need to figure some things out. But when I have these breakthroughs or have these moments of calm or have these moments of clarity, because you cannot figure things out if there's chaos going around in your head. This isn't meditate or anything like that. I'm just talking. I'm saying, go for it if that's the thing. And I do that too. But what I mean is I'm scared for my future, and as I have been, but I have these breakthroughs, and those breakthroughs always come when I'm calm, always come when the mind's at rest. And that's where the fear doesn't dominate. I don't have a solution available in my head. I can't see the solution for my life in the next couple months. But it's not going to emerge when you're just like, and you're just going to assume everything's working. You assume all the settings are going. You got to slow down and take the time. You got to slow down and make sure all the buttons are pressed. Everything is clicked on that needs to be clicked on. All the toggles are toggled. If I can't get a podcast recording right 2 weeks in a row, then how can I expect myself to find the right way forward. And then, like me messing up a podcast recording twice, I continue to mess up my life on a micro scale by just falling back on the old habits, on the things that haven't worked for me, on the things that just have led me here. And it can be easy to get mad at yourself. It can be easy. It can be easy to get mad at yourself. Did I even say that sentence right? It's easy to get mad at yourself. It's easy to get mad at the here I go again. And I'm going to try to avoid that this week because I don't think that anger is helpful. The anger can be clarifying. The anger can be motivating if the anger is at myself, but I don't think that's productive for me as well. I did take one big step forward last week. I did go to my doctor and I did ask for the phone number for the department to go make an appointment with that department to start taking a look at my brain. So I am checking the settings and making sure things are in place. I am holding myself up a little bit better. So I'll give myself credit for that. But if I'm not careful, I'll just keep doing the same dumb thing. I haven't called the number yet. I'm like patting myself on the back that I got the number. And I've been there before. Not calling numbers that I need to call in terms of medical help and medical paths forward has hurt me in my life before. It's maybe demand avoidance, maybe part of something I'm dealing with, or it's just an innate sense of laziness. I don't know. So I think my signals are going a lot of different directions right now, and hopefully you stay with me. Hopefully any of this makes any kind of sense and it's helpful on any level. I did a good thing for myself last week, something I've been meaning to do for a while. But because I've never taken the time to put the care, to give myself the care I need, to give myself the steps forward and the keys to success, to build a better life. I've never done that for myself. I just kind of keep going along, not checking the settings and getting upset when things aren't working. So I did go to the doctor and I'm going to start a new journey. And I got to make sure I do that this week. But at the same time, this week, no, not at the same time. That is the thing. This week, I really, really, really have to work on breaking those habits. Tonight's a victory. I recorded this podcast. It's going. It's a short one tonight. I'm looking ahead to next week, and it's a busy week. I don't have a lot to say tonight. But it's just interesting to just look back at those little things as indicators of bigger problems. Not getting the podcast recording right is really how my life has been for 25 years. So what are we going to do to change it? And the best way for me to change it is to just be calm, be quiet, kind of take it all in and find the solutions, seek the solutions. I have this problem with like stand-up or radio or anything I do creative. I'm good at it and I get involved and people around me say you're good at it. And then I just shrink back and I don't try to take my talents to a bigger platform. Or I don't, not to YouTube, but like in stand-up or to another club, or I don't confidently reach out to try to get myself booked at shows. Even though every comic around me is like, oh yeah, you're doing really good. You're really good, man. You should be on other shows. Like I don't do it. I don't check the settings. I just kind of assume that everything's going to be okay. And don't give myself the best chance to have success. When it comes to some of the other things I do in my life, my creative career path, I've lived so much of my life behind the wall of fear, behind the wall of insecurity. And I know it. And for a long time, I didn't know it. But now that I know it, much like week one, I fuck up a podcast recording. Now I know it. And week two, I do it again. That's kind of been my whole life. I'm going to start this one thing, this creative endeavor, this thing I think I'm good at. And I'm pretty good at. And then I know the way I am is then I don't put the work and time into it. I don't approach it with any confidence. And then I stay small and I still stay tiny. And then that thing doesn't work. And then I'm wondering, Why didn't it work? And then something else starts and I do the same thing again. Those patterns. We all have those patterns. We all have those patterns. You just sit back and just kind of coast forward. Assume, I don't want to coast forward anymore. I can't afford to coast forward anymore. I'm screeching and racing towards another wall in my life. And I might get over that one, but there's just going to be another wall if I don't take the time and I don't give myself the proper respect of taking different steps towards success. Because everything else I've taken has fallen rather flat. Right? Right? So we'll see if I can do that. I did have close to a little bit of a nervous breakdown this past week. Just stuff, nothing new. Vet bills and insurance bills, all those things. Taxes. The government wants taxes. Are we paying taxes this year? Are we doing this? Are we doing this? I'm just thinking of writing a check that says, nope, not this year, clowns. You don't deserve my loan back, my payment back. But a lot of stress. And I felt myself spinning out of control on Thursday of this past week. And I hate that feeling. The breath starts getting tight. The chest starts getting tight. You just kind of, you feel the breakdown happening. I pulled myself out of it, though. And I am just working really hard on taking those breaths. Just being really calm and trying to listen to the solutions as they emerge. Find my way forward. That's how, some recent things in my life that I would call success have happened because I just didn't act from, that panic spot we all get to. I didn't act like that. I was calm, listening to those little voices in your head, the good ones, the intuitions, the instincts, saying, hey, you need to email that person. That might turn into something, and it has. You maybe need to apply for that job. You need to talk to that person. You set up that meeting. I have done a good job in the last couple months of when I'm calm listening to the voices of care, my own voices of care, my own voices of wisdom in my brain. But then, keeping with the overall theme, I guess, when those voices kind of wane a little bit, and it's time to maybe listen to some other intuition, some other way forward, I get all panicky again, and I'm almost back to square one. This year has been a lot of movement forward for me, emotionally, mentally, self-care wise, and then you move back, you come crashing back, and you do the same thing again, like fuck up a podcast recording 2 weeks in a row. So this week we're going to try to break habits, but not in the big way. We're going to break it in small ways. The next podcast recording and the next live stream, I'm going to make sure all the settings are good. The next time I have a little bit of a challenge in front of me, I'm going to go towards the challenge, not trying to find ways around it. I'll have more on that later, I think, in another episode. But I'm not going to continue to repeat the small little things and choices I've done my entire life that have led me to this next wall I'm crashing into, if that makes sense. I don't know if this episode makes sense. I don't know. I always say I don't really know what I'm going to say. I really legitimately just look at some of the big emotional challenges for me in this week. But my brain is scattered. And that's where I'll leave you. My brain is scattered, not just because of any condition or situation going on in my brain or anything like that. My brain is scattered because of exhaustion, because we're all racing towards the end of the year. We're all experiencing that. It can get overwhelming, even in the best of times. And what I'm exhausted of is every 5 minutes, there's some kind of fight for survival in my brain. And every kind of 5 minutes, there's some kind of panic of how are we going to afford that? How are we going to do that? What are we going to do? And then 5 minutes of calm, 5 minutes of peace, 5 minutes of tell yourself to believe the pieces of advice you give other people, and then the panic comes back in. And that's what this episode is about. You can hear it. It's almost manic. I'm almost manic. I can't even calm down. I don't even know if anything I'm saying is making sense to y'all. I know this is a weird channel. This is Ken Napzok, the former movie news guy from Schmoes. And some weeks he's laughing and joking. Some weeks he's doing buzzballs. Some nights he's yelling at President Trump, and some nights he's just got his head in his hand. He's trying to figure it out. This is a channel that is about all facets of me. And I hope that makes sense to those out there, because I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here as we all carry ourselves forward. But I'm going to do that this week. I'm going to change things on a small level. You want to change the macro, but I think it's important to focus on the micro, and then it builds and builds and builds and builds. And I'm going to seek calm this week. And the thing I was talking about last week that you'll never get to hear. Looking back, I saw I was setting myself up for a little failure. I don't like the turning of the month anymore, because that means one more month of rent flipping away. One more month closer to, oh, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do. One more month of I don't have anywhere to go, anywhere to move, any jobs to lean on. I don't have anything. And the beginning of every month, going back to February of this year, has been that. And I didn't think I'd be where I am now, in this studio, in this house. I didn't think I'd be that in here when May came this year, because of a big change in my life. And then June came, and July came, and August, September, October, November, and now December. And I'm once again in a spot of I don't know if I'm going to still be here. By the way, maybe that's not the answer, but the point is, the thing I want to leave you on this week, as we all take all these brain synapses firing in my head here and try to make sense of it, is I'm not here at a new month for a new set of struggles. Like, oh, shit, I'm here. I'm going to focus on the good, which is I'm still here. I didn't think I'd be here. December 1st was not a pain point. December 1st was not a failure ahead point. December 1st was a victory. I'm still here. And you're still here as well. You're still where you are as well. Whatever's bothering you, whatever you're reaching for, whatever you're going forward with, we're all still here. Let's celebrate that. Be calm. Break little habits. Give yourself the self-care that is the best chance to succeed. Get some tacos along the way. Avoid little smokies. Don't get those. But also, let's celebrate that we're still here. All right? Monday morning show is done for this week. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to let myself end this broadcast. I'm going to let myself soak in all the words that I'm giving to you, because I need to hear them for myself. Do also want to remind you, hey, if you're local, December 19th, big comedy show at Flappers Comedy Club. I'm headlining. Holiday show. We'll have some fun, some stand-up, some holiday stuff. Great lineup of comics. Great lineup of performers. Maybe not just straight stand-up comedy that night here. Hey, stay tuned for that. But if you're local, come on out. Get tickets at Flappers. All right. Advertisement.